I guess you guys live on here, because the minute I started this up, there was already somebody watching. Unbelievable. So as the title of the video says, we're still sanding. It's a rather a boring endeavor. I don't know how long I'll be sanding, but it'll be for a while. Hopefully we can get this sanding done by, let me pull this down, sanding done by the weekend. Okay. All right. All right. Looks like we're doing good. I wonder if I can open that up and see it there. Okay. So what's happening here is I'm lowering this deck, as I said before. I also moved the headrest back about 3/8 of an inch because we're getting too tight for the pilot. I'm going to be using this big pilot here, and I don't have any glue, but we'll go ahead and see if CA will hold his head together. I have to make a concave for his head to fit in. Obviously his body's not going to fit in there, but we'll get the top half of his body and his head sticking out. Maybe I won't use him because I'm not sure. That's pretty good size there. I might have to use Clark Gable. Where did he go? There's Clark. Yeah, I guess Clark Gable's going to be it instead of the big guy. The big guy just looks too big. But and the reason I'm thinking about this stuff now is all this kind of coincides together. So we got a thumbs up there. The scale model channel, Finky. Hey, Project Look. Hey, great. What scale modeling channel do you got there? Shout out to you guys anyway. What do you model? Do you model trains or airplanes or tanks? Still sanding. I did sand on it some before the show started. Starting to get into that second piece there. Your scale model channel, what do you model? I'd like to know. Cars and planes, great. Am I following you? I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let's see. Maybe we could cooperate. And you build RC. Pin message, report, remove, hide user. I want to go to your channel. How do I do that? I'll probably have to look at it after the stream. I'll check out your channel, and maybe we can do something together. Everybody like, subscribe, share my videos. The paid memberships show some extra things. I did one video so far. This weekend you get another one Saturday, and then we'll do a a members only live stream chat where we use Jitsi to do that. Not a rusty chat, but a chat where we could talk about building. So I need to drop the sides of this. So I'm going to take and draw this in here. I'm hoping I can do this. I don't know why they can't make a pen that writes on balsa wood. I think I want to change this angle too. Going to be pulling a canopy for this, so I've already showed one video of making canopy, but we're going to do another one on this. So, is that going to look right? No. So I'm going to need to cut all this area out here. I don't think that's right either. Like I say, nobody does this because this is extremely hard to do and make look good. But we're going to try. I'll show that detail on, I don't know how many guys have seen that detail on my Monado. I'll show you that detail on the plane hanging on the wall. Let me take this camera down. Let me get rid of this. I got my hands free there. So let's do this. I want to show you what that detail looks like when it's done correctly. That detail, maybe I need to approach it from the other side. Yeah. I'll block off the light. How can I do that? But that's what that detail looks like when you do it correctly. And it just adds a little something. There we go. There we go. You can see it better there now. Okay. Turn this off. Build RCs. Yeah, RC airplanes and what I do are very similar. I mean, it's all about straight in light. I mean, RC airplanes are nothing special to build. Just make sure that you got everything lined up. Alignment's very important in RC. These airplanes that we fly here are asymmetrical, so they wouldn't fly as RC because the inboard wing is longer than the outboard wing. There's no dihedral. Not to say that any airplane has to have dihedral. It just dihedral is made for lowering the vertical center of gravity and making it more stable. And these airplanes are inherently unstable just by the virtue of what they're doing. So let's see, go on the other side and see if we can copy this over to the other side. I might have to do the old paper stencil trick. Pretty close. Pretty close. That looks about right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the number 22 blade. I believe that's what it is. The big long job. I can find one. Going to try to excavate across the whole thing all at once. There we go. This blade here, and we'll whittle it across. I got to start thinking about this now, not later, because I have to sand it in. So that's why it seems like it would be out of sequence, but it's not. Then of course I'll take a Dremel and open it up after I get the outside shaped the way I want it. I think we're going to take that tail rest off. So what I need to do is mark it. I just thought of another good idea how to do this. So let's take this post off here. Okay. Can't make too much of a mess. I don't think I'll open it up tonight, but I'll get the basic shape sanded into it. You get a better idea what I'm trying to achieve. This is that old 20s air race, 20s and 30s air racer. Look. I like the sprint car look of it. And that's basically why I built the small one. Okay. I don't know how many of you guys go as far as I do building or whatever, but to build one of these is to let your mind kind of wander and see, make something that nobody has. Okay, so now I got a basic shape. Let's take this paint can here, some 80 grit. I'll wrap the paper around the paint can. I do this all the time with dishes, bowls, whatever's handy. Let's see what it looks like from this side. It's about the same. This video here is not much of an educational video. It's kind of more or less just hanging out with me because sanding can't be taught on the internet. But maybe you'll get an idea of something I'm doing. Okay, let's put the headrest back on it and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, big difference. It's a matter of just rubbing. I do this a lot. If you're allergic to CA, I don't recommend you do it. But I just glue the sandpaper to my fingers because even the glue on this paper, it won't hold when I'm aggressive. So. Oh, gotta bring that back. We'll pin it back on. I'm not sure. It might get the big pilot. I like the big pilot quite a bit, even though Tommy Looper made me car cable. I already have the Tommy Looper in the other Tucker. That's a shame I'm not going to get to see him this year. Unless he comes to the Nats. These airplanes I'm building here are all hand done. I'm not using any machinery to do this stuff because I don't have any machinery here. Where at home, I would have cut all this stuff out on the block on my bandsaw up front first. I've seen some really fine craftsmanship, though, all hand done in my life. It just takes more time, that's all. Now this all gets cut away here, and what I'm doing here is I'm bringing the shape symmetrical, and I'm using 80 grit, so it's removing quite a bit of material up front. We're going to switch over to 180 here in a second, get it cleaned up and see what it looks like after I round the edges off. But I want to make sure that that we get this hole symmetrical. Foundation 491, that's going fine. I'm glad you guys found the channel. Like, subscribe, and share. Join the channel for some extras. I just got turned on to that membership feature. We only got about 10 members in that. I'm hoping to get that up to 100 or so. Most of the guys in the world who build model airplanes know who I am, so I suspect that'll happen. All right, what do you think? How'd that play out? Dropping that, I told you that I was going to arch the nose and drop the canopy. That took quite a bit of sanding to do, but let's see what that looks like. RC Tuesday. Great. It's the yes, that's exactly what it is. It's in the details. And this channel here, I'm teaching. I'm not really teaching. I'm, more or less showing people how I do these details. And basically, it's time. How much time do you want to spend? So you want to see some secrets of control line building? Join the paid memberships. I'm showing the last video was on belt crank, or the first video of that series was on belt crank geometry, and I'll continue on with that series this Saturday. the bending of the horns and the install. All right, let's go to 180. If I got any 180, I got 320. There's 180. We got the thumbs up, so that's good. Yeah. Layer of balsa dust. Yeah, this is not my regular workshop for you guys. This is my apartment that I have in the east where I work. My regular shop can be found back a few videos. It's got a black and white checkerboard floor, and I got all the tools in there. But just because I don't have the tools here doesn't mean I can't build model airplanes. This would be like building model airplanes in the motel room. This is a little one-room apartment. It's about, I don't know, 12 by 15. Encompasses everything. This is where I stay, where I'm working. Of course, I've been here quite a while this time because of this stupid lockdown. This build here has consisted of 1 hour a night till it's done. It's about, I'd say, I think it's 2 months old. Wings done, fuselage is done, elevators are done. Everything's done. It's ready to put together. Here's the wing over here. And this airplane that I'm building here is just a big one of those. Same airplane, just bigger. It has those numbers on it, but it's going to look like that airplane right there with modern features. And it ain't going to have no gold. There will be no gold. I think it's come out good. Come out nice and symmetrical. You guys have good luck for me. I got it the first time. I didn't have to fight it. A lot of times when I'm building, sanding, and trying to explain how I'm doing things, I end up having to redo it off camera because I screwed it up. But not this time. Got a little flat there. It's going to be hard to get out. But I'll get her. I think on this one I'll cut it back in and put the dashboard up underneath. Not like the other one where I made the dashboard part of this. The one that I showed you on the wall there, the dashboard is part of the top block. And that's really not the best way to do things. This block started out 4 inches wide, 1 inch thick. It goes from 1/4 inch thick to 7/8 to 1 inch down to 3/8. And I cut it all with a knife, planed it with my Hobbyco plane. Like I said last night when I was sanding on this will be a few settings doing this because you're not going to get it in one setting. I don't know. You know, if you guys want to see me go through this whole thing, I'll show the whole step of the way. But if you'd like to see me do something else, put in the description or chat box or down below what you want to see me do. And I'll work on it. Let's see what we got here. Wing art and finish. I'll be showing my finishing techniques again, but I've already, if you look back at my videos, there's over 1,000 videos on the channel. Not the hangout videos, but the building videos. I show various finishing deals, and I've explained my finishing method for a nice 6-ounce finish. Most guys that are finishing are getting 10 to 16-ounce finishes, but the way that I finish and the diet that I put you on, you're going to get a 6-ounce finish, and I'll show that. I'll probably do that for the membership. I'll show some snippets, but I'll go more into detail for the members of the channel. Because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and when I started doing this, well, I did it early 60s, but when I really started getting excited about doing it and getting into the competition, and in 68, everything was a secret. Nobody would tell anybody anything. How did you do that? You know, and we had to find out the hard way. And I'm such an advocate of builder of the model rule that I don't think the secret should be kept anymore, because when I'm gone, when I'm dead, who's going to tell you? Nobody. Everybody I might lose a point or whatever. I don't care. Wendy was a heck of a craftsman, but his ideas were Big Jim Greenaway style. He too heavy. I follow along the idea of Bob Hunt and Bill Warridge. Light is right. And once you fly a light airplane, you won't fly a lunker. You'll start leaving lumber out because you go, oh man, we're getting heavy there. But remember what I said about building light airplanes. You can't build a light airplane without light wood. So if the wood's 7-pound wood, throw it in the trash. 4 to 6 pound only. Hopefully you can get some 3.5-pound wood like I've got on this airplane. It's harder and harder to come by, but you got to keep looking. Take a stick here, stick there. Keep saving it. I'm always buying wood. When you go to Lowe's, or one of the places that has a balsa rack, you always look through it, and if there's only one stick, buy it. Doesn't matter whether you can use it right now or not, just buy it, because you may not get a chance to buy it again. My buddy John bought me a scale, a dope scale that I can carry around in my pocket. and we can weigh this wood at the hobby shop. So, so we'll be doing that. Well, let's stand back and look. How's that look? Got a nice arc this way, comes up, swoops down. I'm thinking about making this an arc too. Maybe get his head, sand this so his head's back into the headrest like an F1 racer with a rollover bar. Because it, I don't know, kind of looks funny straight. Maybe leaning back. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I think maybe just continue that arc up there would look better. And the windscreen, of course, is going to have the cooling scoop on it. Comes down the nose from about here all the way back to the windscreen. And I'm going to have to build the windscreen plug, and we're going to mold that plug or mold that cockpit canopy. So I'm thinking about when I cut that plug, and I will show how I make that plug and make the canopy. I'm thinking about putting a frame on it so that it just doesn't look like a square piece of plastic or a round piece of plastic. Well, it'll have the frame built into it and vacuum formed on it. Yeah, this turned out real nice like this. I'm happy. I got it nice and symmetrical. Got a high spot right there. That's all right. We can fix that. Can fix that. That's pretty good. Now, let me explain to you about candling. The lights that I have here are not the best. You can't really see. Thank you, Mike. You can't really see that good in the place. But one thing that it does show, these lights are good for candling. I have light shining over my back, over my right shoulder, light at my back, and light here in front. And if you were here and could see this, and you may be able to see this, there's a dark spot right here. So I have to keep sanding this until this dark spot goes away, and that's what candling is about. It shows you the highs and lows. Can you see that dark spot there? It's right there. So in order to get rid of that, and most people say, well, I can't see that. Yeah, well, you can't see that now, but once it's in color and the paint is on it, it will show up terrible. When I look at some of them airplanes at the field, man, they weren't standing next to the sandpaper long enough. Just, just a few swipes more. Now it kind of went away. It's moving around this to this side. So even though I can't see very good in here, the way the light configuration is here, it's good for candling because it does let me see the highs and lows in this wood. A lot of times I'll hold up the light and look down the side of it. Sunlight's real good for candling too. It's the best, but obviously if you're working inside, it's hard to get the sun inside. So I've worked on it about 45 minutes tonight, 40 minutes. And as stated, I haven't done anything off camera. I did ice sand it a little bit on it to try to get it, arced in before I started. I, about 15 minutes to try to get that profile right. But this is the molded bottom that I showed on camera. That it's not glued down, so it's not lined. But once it's lined, this fuselage also has longerons in it, so I have to either sand into the longerons on the outside or split it apart and sand the longerons out on the inside. And you say, well, why did you put the longerons in there if you're going to sand them out? Okay. The longerons give gluing surface to the block. Now the bottom molded part was 2 pieces of 16th glued together with alphatic resin, the white glue tight bond, watered down. So 2/16 becomes 1/8 of an inch wide. Well, these fuselage sides aren't 1/8 of an inch; they're 3/32. So you're going to have to add some extra material on the inside. It also gives you enough room to shape, to sand into. And if you don't have any wood there, you'll sand the hole in the airplane. So what you do is you get the airplane put together like I'm doing here, and you get the outside sanded to shape to where the shape looks just about where you want it, less the finished sanding. And then, as you guys, some have seen, the way that I put my airplanes together is I split the center of the airplane here and pull the back half off, turn it upside down on a piece of wood or a piece of glass or whatever, and draw those center lines. Well, while it's upside down on the glass and I'm super filling the insides of the wing joints, I take a knife in there or 80 grit sandpaper and I'll sand out the fuselage sides some more so they're only about a 1/16 of an inch thick, and I'll sand those longerons away. It's the only way you can get a light airplane. And we're shooting for, I'd like to see 55, but I won't hold my breath. If I get 58, I'll be ecstatic. 58 ounces on this airplane. So I've got to get with Kaz and order another one of those 22,000 yen carbon fiber fuel tanks. They're about $100 or so American. But I raced motorcycles for years. I built motorcycles for years. I do cars. I buy tools. Them tools are real expensive. If you're not buying, it's not like you're buying a fuel tank every day or whatever. So you buy it once and what I'm saying, don't be cheap, guys. This is an inexpensive hobby. If it costs you $1,000, it's an inexpensive hobby compared to motorcycles, race cars, and drag bikes. Just one pass on a drag bike costs 1/4 mile costs $1,500. You burn up a gallon of fuel in a weekend on these airplanes. Oh, that was too expensive. Hey, 1/4 mile is 3 gallons of alcohol on a drag bike, so don't be cheap. I buy the titanium rod ends like I showed you in the bell crank video. These little buggers right here. These are $7.50 a piece. And I think they're 7.5. It doesn't matter what they are. It just doesn't matter. And that's to put the ball link on. And the Jap tissue that I use is free flight tissue from England. That works out to about 15 bucks a sheet. Then the Crest primer, $12, $15 a can, whatever. Don't worry about it. The only hobby is spending money. Beautiful profile. Any questions? We got any questions? Been running 45 minutes. Only going to stay on no more than an hour. Because as I stated, this is an hour a day project. I need to cut my elevator stabilizer hole in so we can get this mounted up. Of course, it goes up here on the datum line. Let's see. Probably right in there somewhere. The numbers that I've come up with are what plane is that? This airplane is a giant Tucker. That's my design using my numbers, but they're all the same. All these airplanes are the same. I'll show you what the airplane was modeled from. It's got dust all over this one. This airplane here, it'll be just a bigger version of this airplane here. And the reason I'm doing this is a classic airplane. This was designed by Bob Tucker back in the 60s. Not built by him, but designed by him. And I did these plans were at Brodax. And I had the plans for the longest time, and I said, you know what? I haven't built any airplanes from plans in forever. So I decided, well, I'll build a Tucker. This is a classic legal airplane, meaning pre-1969. So if you're looking at this airplane out at the end of the lines, I want an airplane so that I can go to a contest and fly more than 2 flights. All the other airplanes I have in here, like the high roller there up on the wall, that is a PA piped airplane, PA 75. I can take that airplane and fly, go to the meet and fly 2 flights because there's no other classes. So I decided this year I was going to, and they're not going to have it, I don't think, but I was going to build a classic airplane so I can fly an extra 2 days. So I was going to take this airplane, and when you look at it flying on the end of the lines, it's got a different look to it. So I said, well, if I'm going to fly 2 days, I need to get comfortable with looking at that airplane at the end of the lines. But in order to fly at the nats in open, you have to have an airplane that's basically competitive. That little airplane's not going to be competitive in open, just not. So this engine is a Brian Gardner Super Tiger 60 that's the airplane there that I flew at the Nationals last year. I worked with it for a while. I can't really. It's got some issues. I don't like it. It just. I'm a guy who flew back in the '60s and '70s, and I like the turn. The lightweight stuff and all that rigmarole. Even though that airplane's 62 ounces, which is light for an airplane that size, it's too heavy. It's got most of the weight in the nose. So if you go to the super taggers, like my Junar, this airplane here, I let Charles fly last year at the Nationals, and he did pretty well with it. this this airplane flies fantastic. It's absolutely great. So it has a Super Tiger 60 in it. And the numbers that I come up with on this were out of my head. This is a knockoff of Billy's. It looks like a Junar, but it's all my numbers. So I took the numbers from this, and we're going to put it in a dress of that. So what is this airplane? The Mother Tucker. It's just one of them deals. Let's see what we got over here now. Retracts. Bob Hunt built his. I call it passing wind, but it's second wind. Bob Hunt's second wind electric twin has retracts in it. And I can't really. I built 6 or 7 purpose-built electric airplanes, but I'm not really thrilled with electric airplanes, so I'm not really an authority on electrics. But if you see Bob on the channel here, or he goes on Stunt, you can ask him. He uses E-Flight motors, Castle speed controllers. I'm not sure what batteries, and then he's got the I think it might be Castle retract. I don't know. Whoever makes the retracts. That's it. This is the mother of all Tuckers, Mother Tucker. So it's that airplane only to look like that airplane. So I can see those shapes. And it's basically just, I like the way that airplane flies there, but I want to fly 4 flights instead of, or 2 days instead of 1. If that, I hope that all makes sense. It's hard for me to express my idea behind it. I just want to get more out of fly. I have a Ringmaster 576 Tom Dixon that I started on this channel, but I haven't finished it yet because we're all locked down. It's over John's house, and it's pretty close to finish. It just needs a wing slid into the fuselage and the elevator stabilizer put on it and the wheels put on it, and it's finished. And I'm not going to do a super trick paint job on it. I'm just going to Z-epoxy it up, sand it down, shoot with clear, and go. That's it. And I got a couple Voodoos over there. I built 4 Voodoos in here. I've been in this little apartment about 2 years. And in 2 years, I built all this stuff because there's nothing to do. I got a whole pile of airplanes back in St. Louis. I got a whole pile of airplanes here. I bought a trailer so I could tote all this stuff home. Oh, crap. So I hope you got something out of this crazy video tonight, spending with me. Let's see what we got there. Yeah, yeah. Electrics have some inherent problems for you electric guys. And I told you I built I can't remember, it was 6 or 7 purpose-built electric airplanes. My airplane that I designed that I've been flying for 30 years is a Viper. And I built 2 Vipers and I built a couple Crossfires and if you look back, there's, I don't know, Max B, there's all kind of stuff. The airplanes are weak. They're out of gas. When you are on your last maneuvers, overheads, and four-leaf clover, the batteries discharge, so they don't have the power that an IC engine has. Now, people say, well, you don't have the right speed controller. I don't care. There's only so much juice in that battery. When the battery's out of juice, it's out of power. And I see all those guys, top guys at the Nats, flying those electrics, and I look up there and I go, man, that thing's weak. Comes down in the wind, poof, they're all hunkering down. I don't know. They love them though, so whatever. I mean, a lot of ways to do it. Don't matter if you're using a mouse inside there on a treadmill. As long as you get your airplane through the pattern, knock yourself out. But I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 Super Tiger 60s here. I used to have 2 PA 75s here. I only have 1 left. I sold my other uh, Junar XL that was with a PA 75 on it. I sold that to Jerry. So I built that one. I forgot all about that one. It's not here no more. And I got a whole shit pile of motors up there on the shelf. There's a box full of Super Tigers, a G2135 OS 46-2, 2 of the OS 32Fs, PA. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff here. I can build a lot of airplanes. I got a lot of motors. Oh, I got another motor in the closet I forgot about, but it's for the yeah, same torque till it quits. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. They may have the same torque, but there's no current left in the battery. It's just pretty simple. The tank's empty. But like I say, I built 6 or 7 of them. I just wasn't impressed. I was impressed with Jeff Traxler's Barnstormer that had electric motor on it one year at the Nats. I go, hey Jeff, can I fly that? Yeah, you can fly it. So I flew it, and it flew. You know, it flew all right. But one thing that impressed me is how much torque that it had. But little did I know the airplane. It probably had I don't know, maybe a 25 or a 32 in it or whatever. But the airplane was light. It was 40 ounces. But it did feel kind of sluggy because you're carrying around a brick. And where is that? Here's one. Here's the battery out of my Viper, and I'm using this my shoestring scale plane is powered by electric. The one with the sound box and all the, I don't know, has all kind of stupid stuff on it. Anyway, this battery is 10 ounces. This thing is a brick, and I can feel that in the nose, and I hate it. So that's why I don't fly electric. And then you'll have the guy say, well, the CG never changes. Yeah, that's a problem, as far as I'm concerned. Oh. But I'm just an old conventional old conventional modeler. I like the slime. You know, I don't like diesels, but I do like the slime. So anyway, we've been on 1 hour. I appreciate you stopping by and kind of watching me shape the profile of this fuselage. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I don't like I say. If you like electric, great. Whatever whatever works for you. If you like electric, go with electric. I like glow. I had electric. As a matter of fact, I have all kinds of money tied up in electric. I got the power pack and the best chargers and I still got all that stuff back in St. Louis. I probably should sell it. Sitting on money I'm not going to use again. The only thing I keep it for is I have my scale plane, which I'm probably never going to fly again. I was going to donate it to Brodak, but now Brodak's gone, so that's not going to happen. I was thinking that I'd take it and maybe give it to Wix Aircraft and let them hang it in their shop. I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. It's a big old airplane. That fuselage is yay big around on that thing. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share, become a paid member down there by the subscribe button. There's a join button. You join that, and you're going to get some inside stuff on how I do things. I don't tell everybody. I let a lot of secrets go, but I don't tell everybody all the goodies because they can't hardly remember them. Oh, let's see. Oh, make sure you ring the bell. There's a bell notification button down at the bottom. Ring that so you're notified when I upload. And I'll be darned if by the time I start this thing and get it typed out, there is not somebody watching it before I even start turn on the OBS to get the stream out. Somebody's watching, waiting. I don't understand how that works. But that's great. So we'll see you tomorrow night. We'll do something. Put in the description what you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can do it in an hour tomorrow night. Come the weekends, of course, especially with the lockdown, I've been putting on longer videos, 3 hour affairs where I'm showing you cutting ribs and laying it out. And if you look back at this series, the whole model's been built on camera. So till I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.